Check, 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 check.
They are gonna consider though. The Matilda's interestingly still open too, but I doubt it'll be an option for both of these roamers who are really eager to always go for the setups.
If anyone's going to pick up the Matilda, it's probably going to be Liquid.
Yeah.
Since they have a glue in the EXP lane, that's just going to be their main rock of frontline defense, so it's going to be the Matilda there. But with the presence of Joy, I'd rather
What's up,
PH
guys?
goes for a solid
Yeah.
hard tank instead.
Yeah, what are the solid hard tanks that we might
Glue meta, let's go!
from them? I-
Badang!
Still out there. High loss is
The
still out there.
Badang is good!
Badang plus
Badang is
a
good, actually.
mid laner,
Oh.
I would say, but oh no, they deny the Badang!
Okay.
The B combo!
Great
Okay
drafting
guys,
right now.
ito na,
from KFC. I like
we
to see
are
what's
live
like
and
their
alive.
block picking. Still, the glue is gonna
Only
be a
on
huge problem that they have with
exclusively
Liquid later on, and right
on
now,
YT.
Trying to, I think I'm running out of really strong gold laners. They might just end up
Okay.
with a Granger. You mentioned they got the Kacha, they get it. They get the Farsa as well, so it's a strong front, strong solid tank, play around the Moskov, strong backline with one option, make it three options for
Is it
diving.
Benny
Yeah,
QT
very
one
balanced,
time
Team
for the
Philippines salvaged their
Moskov
draft.
because
Now
it
for TNC, are you stuck with a carry for Benny Cutie? It's gonna be quite tough.
1-1 na to?
Or do they still
Legit?
want to opt for the Granger?
Ginawa-1 na nila to?
Yeah,
Kaso
so
may
you go for
powers
reach
pala.
instead 'cause you're
Mali.
all dive, you need a bit of reach.
Sorry, mali pala
Carry's a
yun.
bit too close range. Yeah, it's either that or the Granger.
Yeah, because they also took out
Clinton.
the Beatrix, so
Clinton
like,
miss.
who else is left there to provide
Clinton,
a little
Clinton.
bit of
What
range?
if?
Because the Jushin too kind of really wants to close in onto the opponents, but this is somehow
Indeed, a 1-1. Okay.
I'm kind of torn whether or not it will be happy with the amount of dive.
Just say you don't like it.
Yeah,
Just
what
say
you're
you
trying to
don't
say?
like it.
because there's so much dive, right, from
Yeah.
Team Liquid Philippines.
But also there's so much confidence. Again, let's remember,
Yeah.
this is Benny Cutie in TNC's gold lane. That's a sobriquet for his young daughter, Wanwan. The Wanwan!
Yeah. I hope they have enough damage output, because usually you want to see 1-1 paired up with a strong
Okay, sorry guys.
burst type.
Just had to reply to some
mid laner.
That's not what
in-game.
Zushin
Yeah, that's not what Jushin brings to the
In-game.
table. So they want
Let's
to play for the
go.
long team fights here.
Where's my
Hopefully
chat?
the Badang and the Kalea of TNC
Where
Pro
is
Team can
my
hold on
chat?
long enough for the Jushin 1-1 and
Naruto
Suyo to
skin,
deal the
no? Ay.
damage, because that's what you're gonna need to play around. While for Team Liquid Philippines,
Grabe
it
promotion
isn't so
itong Naruto
rigid.
skin, no?
Yeah, you're playing around the
Talagang-
feather airstrike, but even with that, Sanji is so free to go wherever he pleases in terms
Talagang
of where he places
yung
that
skin
down.
yung
But if you
inilalabas.
just play around the Moskov with that, I like Team Liquid's draft a bit better.
Yeah, you can already expect them to take majority, if not full control
Init
of
sa
the space
Pinas,
of the
guys? Ba't
team fights
ganon?
that are going to take place
Hindi ganon.
later on.
Okay.
But we'll see
Welcome
if
to
TNC just
Mobile
really goes out
Legends.
all aggressive and wins the team fights with sheer aggression.
Yosh! Ikuzo Minasan, let's get game number 1 afoot between Team Liquid
Lakas yung
Philippines
blood.
and
Kaya
TNC
ba ito?
Pro Team. All of the
Ano?
previous sentiments I echo. Again, Team Liquid Philippines has
Par-
much
Liquid ata ako
easier
dito guys sa
goes
first game.
at the mid game. Even come the late game, you know, OHEB has better macro, but if TNC decides to take a fight,
Yung glue
I think,
versus...
you know, if
Okay
they
naman
throw
yung badang
everything at the
actually sa
kitchen
glue.
sink, they can take out maybe 2
Pero
dudes.
syempre,
I don't know how that interacts
yung
with
glue
the glue
napakasakit
right
sa
now.
ano ngayon.
Let's look at the emblems. Okay, Tenacity.
Fury.
Typical stuff for the glue. It's pull yourself together for Benny QT's 1-1 to maximize him getting the Inspire much quicker. So I like that choice there by the 1-1 of Benny QT.
Yeah, it seems like he
Inspire.
can really
Ay,
play
legit.
his lane aggressively, which we're somewhat seeing right now. But I'm really looking forward to see how this glue will be answered by TNC Pro Team later on. Like, will the Inspires be enough if they just really keep disrupting TNC and the kind of like order of, or the sequence of the team fights that
Naruto.
they really want to pull off?
Yeah, look at what we were discussing
Naruto
earlier
skin.
about Martisi being very strong with dueling in the EXP lane. Currently, he is pounding the glue of Sanford into the turret, even though Sanford can get a few hits here and
Ang
there. So
mga
far,
tamang
String Martisi
sabihin
controlling the
sa
tempo
lane.
of the battle in the
Yan,
EXP
tama.
lane right now.
You can almost hear Sanford squishing and squashing, trying to just
Ano,
sustain
ano,
the damage
Ni
output that
Papa
Three Martisi is
Force,
letting
Ito,
out. First
Lance.
turtle spawning, upper quarter of the
Wala
map.
nila.
TNC has a clear
Level 3 lang Kalea.
advantage in positioning. 3 members already circling
Pero
the
pinipigilan
turtle.
nila,
JP looking to
pinipit nila
dodge.
yung glue sa top
No,
para
he's
mas
on
normal
level
dito.
4,
Smart
but Carl
TNC.
TZ goes in, forces out the Crimson
JP
Beacon from
nag-revive
Lancy.
na.
JP
Saka
trying to
Sanford,
zone
hindi
out 3
napigilan
members of
sobra
TNC
ng
though,
ating,
and Yawi's the only one left here in the turtle trying to
Kaya?
disrupt Carl TZ from getting the
Makakuha pa
turtle,
rin.
but he successfully will, and now they proceed
Yawi,
with the fight.
okay.
Sanford gets first blood onto Yawi,
JP
but look at this
is low,
fist
Sanford
crack coming in
nakasakay.
from 3mar. They get now trade a 1-for-1 between the roamers.
I love it when we're right.
Yep.
It's the damage output that TNC is struggling with. They had great control, but when TLPH said, you know what, it's go time, they go like, ah!
Yeah, even with Sanji being a little bit late on the feathered airstrike, it was a calculated late feathered airstrike because the eventual entry of 3 Martisi, that could have been 2 kills for TNC. But the feathered airstrike of Sanji sent back Zaida and the other members of TNC Pro team that they said, all right, sorry 3 Mar, great set, but we can only get 1 here.
Again, this is
Weird.
made worse by the fact that Suyo no longer has magic defense raised when he's in immortal form. So Zaida feels the extra squishiness.
Yeah, and I also felt like Zaida had a much more peaceful early game farming compared to all the previous Suyos we've seen. Like, there weren't much invasions going on from the side of Team Liquid Philippines, but nonetheless, they were able to secure the turtle, which somehow meant that really Team Liquid Philippines are clearly in control right now.
Yeah, Team Liquid can be aggressive, but they don't need to be. They don't need to hyper invade. They don't need to always be showing up at the jungle of TNC Pro team.
Liquid
Play
the first
for
game.
the invasions after you get the major objective. So far, that's what it looks like Team Liquid Philippines is doing. Slight adjustment by Liquid though, as JP is now showing himself up in the jungle of TNC just a little bit more to get a bit more info as the 2 junglers see each other up top. That covers any potential entry into the gold lane, as Oheb already got the info, was able to dash away from Yawi just in time.
Pre-fire by Sanji, letting out that feathered airstrike. If anything, the only real winning lane for TNC is that XP lane. It's the birthday boy, 3 Martisi, who's holding it down, mid, jungle, bottom. The Phoenix Army is struggling.
Yeah,
Oh,
might be
nahirapan
actually
sila sa
seeing
early. Lamang talaga sa early
TNC
tong ano.
really come into a
TLPH.
fight when Benny Q
Tas okay din yung late game nila, meron silang Farsa Joy Moscow.
to follow up the potential setups coming in
Nahirapan
from
yung TNC dito
Yawi
nung
and
pinilit pa nila
especially 3
tong
Martisi.
And if he can fly, mind you, there are 2 purifies on TLPH's side. So if they decide to just cleanse all of those stacks, Benny Cutie's back to square 1.
Oh, no more
Ay,
feathered
Zushin,
airstrike
no?
and really good positioning by TNC Pro team. They could
Uy,
actually win this second
Yuri,
turtle.
okay
They
ata
go,
to.
Sanji's not around, they go
Oh,
in.
saan
For the
off
tsunami
later?
slam, but still
May
JP
revive
with the
na,
After the
okay.
Guardian knocks them up. And
Back
now
at
it
it na
somehow
Sanford.
denies the engage that the TNC wanted to do. The SOD is also there, so they have to take note of Oheb potentially going
Ganda
in.
ng papuri nila doon kay
But still, it's
Sanji,
multiple members of TLPH
Nice one, TNC.
being poked down very, very low. And TNC secures the turtle.
Well
That
done.
is a turtle apiece between the Phoenix Army and the cavalry. All this time, Oheb made quick work of that shield. I don't know if the shield just went down or he did not chunk it enough.
Yeah, I think he was able to get the most of it, but then eventually he just went past 5 minutes and the shielding disappeared. However, Team Liquid, they gotta really watch out for their... Wait!
Oh no, the stacks?
Oo
Oh,
nga, no?
there's just 1 left.
Couldn't get it up.
Di download
All
eh.
right, so
Oo nga, no?
one of the reasons why TNC Pro Team won that last one is they had much better positioning around the middle shrub. They
Di ko
cleared up the
napansin
mid
yun,
lane
ah.
quicker, and they were able to force the feathered airstrike out of Sanji. Yawi goes in!
Okay.
Tsunami slam, but Sanford is there to save
Carl out.
Carlteasy.
Makaulti
And
kay si
now
Benny.
Sanford just using the grab, buying some time, but JP
Nice
gets
dash out,
left
JP.
and to provide some information somehow for Sanford, but in the end,
Oh,
he's
Oheb
the one
here
that's going
versus
to be
Benny.
taken
Nili
out.
para kay
Oheb is here,
niyan.
though, trying to dish out the necessary
Nili
damage.
pa rin talaga
Carlteasy
kay
also
niyan.
using the
Ganda ng
electrifying
tarangin
beats.
so. Nice one,
But
Lance.
Team Liquid Philippines will disengage for now.
That's what
Lamang
I'm saying.
TNC dun.
When TNC
Kapag
decide to
farm
take
pa to
one
sa
down,
iyo.
they can force these kills, they can force an engagement. And off
Tiber.
map, Zaida, they left him alone, gotta push up top.
Yeah, very smart usages of the 4-1 split by TNC Pro Team, especially at when they do it. Now they've taken control of the map and they can potentially get even the next tower in the bottom lane.
Oo
with
nga
another
eh, sa
big
draft pick.
rotation
Eh, wala eh.
there.
Ano lang
So I
yun,
like the build that
animation.
the Glue of Sanford is going for. He went for the
Animation
Dreadnought
nila yun eh,
armor,
kaya
and then
ganun.
now he's getting the components into the Dominance Ice.
Somehow, TNC
Yawi.
are actually maximizing the way that they have a lot of threat in terms of crowd control really well.
Yeah.
Sanji
Okay yung idea
hasn't
dito ni
had
Benny.
much of a great time in terms of positioning as the Farsa.
1-1 siya kahit may
Right now, the
Farsa.
problem of damage, even though they don't have a lot of full build
Kasi
items just yet.
may
Now
badang
they
sila.
have
Pero
some damage,
titingin ko
even
lamang
better
pa rin
compared
dito
to their
yung
very first fight in the turtle, with supplementing that
Basta wag lang
strong crowd control that
mag-spell
they
agad
initially
tong
have
TN.
already with their ability
Bagal
kits.
nila maglaro ngayon.
So now how does Team
Pwede
Liquid
nilang agro yan eh,
Philippines
pero di nila
actually contest this?
40.
Carlteasy is just
Nag-fleet.
within the area.
Pwede
Sanford already
pilitin.
trying to zone, but
Nice
he
ulti
will
JP.
get
Okay,
caught
nakalipad.
with
Yun
the
lang dun
tsunami slam, and
naubos.
look at the crossbow down coming in from Benny Cutie. There's just
Ba't
enough
walang
time
damage si
for Team
Benny?
Liquid Philippines to
Hindi
somehow
siya
find
sa'yo
a
na.
OM tries to go for the trades, but
Wala silang
Zaida,
magic
he
damage,
still
nukes.
escapes!
Wala silang big
Oh,
damage.
unfortunate
Wala
for
silang big
OHEB.
dam,
The
puro
animation
maliliit.
of the second skill just a bit too slow. As Zaida was
Interesting
already
yun,
past the
Ganda na
wall
nung
when he
setup
finally
nila
got
dun.
knocked back by that spear, and he didn't get stunned. Team Liquid Philippines got that
Domi
turtle
agad.
go, got some
Double
kills, and looks
Domi
like they're
agad
looking for
sila.
control on the map. They will get it.
Mpl Ph left OHEB down
no.
bottom. Again, one of the
Okay
reasons
din yung
why
gatot sa
OHEB
Wano.
kind of found short that second skill
Wag
is because he
niya,
was working on that
skip
turret.
Thunderbelt,
So that
Teras,
leaves
ano ka na.
Mpl Ph up on net
Dreadnought
gold,
sabay
up on
Domi.
map control, up on objectives. And
Pagdating
we're
ng third
entering
rate,
Lord
short
territory
din.
here. About
Nice
a minute to
TL,
change.
nice
Upper quarters where the
itemization,
Lord
TL.
spawns. Mid lane still standing just barely for Team
Double
Liquid
Domi na
PH. I
sila
think this is where
para
TNC will
Hindi
start
naman
picking
siya stack,
fights again.
pero alam niyo.
Ooh, Purify
Dalawang sources,
forced
tas
out for OHEB
Magic's,
too.
attack
And unlike
speed.
the first few
Kasi
minutes of
yung
the game, it
tinitira-
seems like
tirada nun.
TNC, they're no longer as hesitant to commit their skills even onto one of the tanky front lines here of Team Liquid Philippines, similar to what happened to Sanford earlier. If there wasn't an immediate response from the AOG, TNC could have probably taken advantage of the situation, but Lansing escapes with the Crimson Beacon, forces out the Purify as well from Sanji. But Team Liquid Philippines, they won't go for the full commit.
TNC are making sure that it's
Happy
too
sila
hot in the kitchen for Chef to cook. Sanji has been throwing off these off-timing feathered airstrikes, been using Purify when he's not ready for it, and it's a miracle that he hasn't died.
Yeah, he's been using those feathered airstrikes to really control the mid lane as a TNC Pro team are getting closer to almost to breaking the tower of Team Liquid there, and Team Liquid wants to hold on to it for as long as they could. No Purifies for quite some time, but TNC Pro team doesn't look like they might be able to start a Lord engagement with the Moskov and the Farsa not having their Purifies, but they're gonna go for handling the map first. They have to think of that window of the Purify of the Moskov, which is about to come back. I think Sanji's gonna be one of the deaths for the next big fight happening for this Lord, though. TNC Pro team needs to mark that.
Yeah, also
Ito na,
you have to
Lord
consider
fight.
they
Sila
have been
lamang,
winning
good
engagements,
lanes,
they
both
have been
teams.
forcing response from Team Liquid, but
Bot
the
tayo
nature of their
lang,
lineup,
di
Redmar,
Moskov.
there's no burst,
Okay.
so they can't blitz the Lord even
Gagi
if
din
they
sa TL.
have the space advantage.
Kaya binaburst na ni
especially
Benny.
if
Smart.
Carl TZ
Slow
actually
push top.
finds a good
Clear mid.
angle to
Tatlo agad
surprise
nakaharap sa
TNC.
TNC.
That'll do a lot for
Yawi
them. But not unless they're
nag-regen,
really able to anticipate and buy
tatalon.
enough time. There
Uli,
goes the
si
SOD.
Joy.
The AOG as
Uy!
well will be committed, but Zaida
Pero
already
napo-force
secures
nila
the
kasi talo
Lord.
sila sa
There goes
laban.
Yawi as well, trying to disrupt Carl TZ, but it's
Kaya
OF
ni
doing the
Yawi,
job.
sa
And
mga
Carl
tropa
TZ
picks.
takes care of Yawi all by himself.
It wasn't worth it. Sure, they
Worth
blitzed it, but at what cost? The 4 lives of 4 members of TNC.
Pero
The
tama yung
lack
ginawa
of
ng TNC.
burst
honestly.
from the Phoenix Army is
Dapat-
coming back to bite them as the cavalry are now
Wait
just
lang
gonna
talaga
march
engage ng
towards
Kalea.
their
Di mo alam
side
kung
of the
kung
river,
shoot o
closer
hindi.
to their inhibitors. They may have
As-
gotten the Lord, but I
clear
literally
na clear na
blinked
walang
and
damage
TNC were
TNC.
gone.
So
Early.
maybe Team Liquid Philippines
Late
right now are
game,
the
sakto
ones
lang.
waiting for the engage really from
Nagkakalipad.
from
Pero pag hindi
TNC.
nakalipad.
They're the ones more capable right now of turning things around and just going for the counter
At least
engages.
All right, Renmar, you can undo your blink. Here's exactly what happened.
I'm trying to look at it slowly. Yeah, we jumped up. SOD got the hit. JP hit the
Ang ganda ng
AOG, and it
target
just
ni
burst.
Oheb, guys.
What TNC are lacking, that's what
Well
Team Liquid
done,
Philippines
Oheb
can
pala.
dish out with confidence. Is all right. Oh,
Master
look, the
ng
fight started.
Pentilong.
Bang,
Galing ni
bang.
Oheb.
Look, you guys are gone.
Ganda ng
Yeah,
target niya.
literally what they
Tulak kay...
committed to be able to, again,
tinurok niya
burst,
sila. Tapos harap.
asterisk, that Lord
Hindi na siya
cost them
nagatap
the
na
fight when
pumunta sa likod.
eventually TLPH decided to
Baga, ginamit
tango.
lang niya
They're
yung
5K up
tulak.
right now, and that
Isang
is a
skill lang
huge
dun sa,
firepower
sa shield,
differential.
desperate.
You saw in the items there
Tapos
exactly
kumampas
why it's
na
a
siya.
struggle for TNT to defend.
Well done ka nga dun.
Okay,
Oh!
Sanji already used a better airstrike, and now it seems like
Si Ford.
Sanford won't make it out alive.
Carl,
Carl
yun na,
TZ
nagwala.
goes in, but gets stunned by
Nagalit.
the blade surge.
Nagalit
and
si
now
Carl
he won't
TZ.
be able to escape
Whoa.
because he gets traded by TNC.
What a read by Zaida! The blade surge coming in just in time. They were ready for the entry of Carl TZ. They dished out all
Galit,
the crowd control
napikon.
abilities that they could for the entry of the young goat.
Call it a 360 no scope by Mama Coco. Zaida, MDL champion, former teammate of Carl TZ, JP Sanji, and Sanford.
laki na
He
nakuha na
knows
dun, TNC.
exactly what they wanted to
Na,
do,
sila pa yung
where Carl
nakapag-push
wanted
na
to go,
maganda.
and
Pero
found
syempre,
the young
lamang pa
goat.
rin
He
TNC.
probably knows so much about these guys because he really used
Pero
to play
11
with
minutes
them
na lang
not
po,
so
walang pala.
long
Dami
ago.
pang
If
pwedeng
you'd
mangyari,
consider
mga tol.
playing in for Carl TZ, being so familiar with them. And now you also see the mechanics going toe-to-toe against Carl TZ, who he's been mentioning to be almost performing in his prime, but
Uy!
oh indeed!
Uy,
Yawi gets to
ginawa.
catch JP. He might
Lo.
not be able to go for the AOGs, but he still
Buhat yung
will
batot,
just to
mga tol.
escape. Yawi gets caught by the grab, and
Eagles ata
Sanji
tayo
takes
dun.
him down, currently on a killing spree.
My God, the beauty of the rework. Look how this is not done.
Oh, he gets interrupted once more, but that might just be enough
Wala,
for Team
ano pala?
Liquid
Layo pa pala,
Philippines
Lord.
to play it a little bit more
Red.
careful. They already got one,
Red.
but there's 20 seconds before the next objective.
Oh, Grand Theft
Ano,
Orange. Oh, no, Zyda secured.
niya.
Zyda secured.
Random na siya.
He was able to
Niretry
get his
niya yung
orange buff
kakatabi.
still. Feathered
Galing.
airstrike zones out the members of TNC Pro Team, and TNC will not be able to defend their tower any longer. Even though for most lineups,
Pero
a
retry.
gold lead of 4,000 at this point in the game,
Ay, hindi. Wala siyang retry. Hindi
cannot say
niya
it's
retry. Sorry
hard to
guys.
make a comeback
Misinformation.
against. But the fact that,
Nakuha lang talaga
again,
niya.
you're lacking so much damage from the side of
Soul
TNC Pro
Saver.
Team that they can dish out the control, but all the control and everything they toss
Bagay
out,
talaga
they
yung
toss out,
skin na yun.
takes
Oh,
what?
ano?
1, 2 members of
Wala pa
Liquid
sa
out?
retry.
Well, they've already spent majority of their resources, and there are still going to be other options for
Op,
the side
op,
of
op, op, op.
Liquid to still
Yawi.
bring in the fight. Here comes
Yawi.
Yawi brings the fight.
Stanford talaga
Yawi
gusto.
trying to look for
Dislocate
someone,
sila.
and
Iba yung
Yawi
ano.
goes in alongside the SOG
Zone
coming
sila
in
ni
from
JP.
OM,
Dislocate.
and JP takes down Yawi, but there's the crossbow tank, but the damage is
Ay.
not enough once again.
Nabosit sila
OM
dun.
takes down Medicurity 2.
Walang
That's two
follow-up
members
dun sa
down from the
ano.
Phoenix
Walang follow-up
Army.
dun sa glue.
Bittersweet. Seeing
Na-zone sila ni
JP
Sir
take down
Japes.
his former gold laner, Benny Curie. 2 members of TNC out. 3 Martizi doing his
What's up,
darndest to quell
PH?
TLPH's
Berting
push.
Magiting.
This Lord getting
What
worked on by
happened,
Carl
Vela?
TZ. Sanji keeping up the heat.
Why are you crying?
It's so tough for TNC.
I know,
Again,
it's a
they can do
vampire,
so
right?
much. They can execute
What
as
happened,
well
Vela?
as they could, but the math just doesn't
Dislocate.
work out.
Dislocate sila eh.
I feel like Sanji's been wanting to do
Replay,
these
replay
perfectly timed
sana.
feathered
Instant reply.
airstrikes.
Instant
Oh, yeah.
reply.
And now he's able to finally
instant
do
reply.
it consistently for the past few minutes here in this game. And I feel like the entire lack of damage is really made evident by how Yaoi's
Songs to
constantly
practice sa
punished
gitara.
whenever
Ano ba,
he tries
electric,
to go
acoustic?
in for a setup. There hasn't been a single
If
setup
acoustic.
yet where TNC has been clearly able to win the fight.
Depende
Yeah,
sa
we're about
level mo.
14 and a half
Siguro
minutes in
gitara
and
by
still the same symptoms
kung OPM
of
ay kasi
TNC's
OPM gitara.
draft. Reared their ugly heads, lack of damage, an all-in nature, and of course the CC answered mostly by these 2
What's
key
happening,
purifiers on the
Vela?
course.
What happened,
Sanji
Vela?
starting up again once more.
Whoa.
The heat is on his side this time around as they kick him out of the kitchen. It's my turn. The chef
What
cooking up a
happened,
push
Vela?
down bottom and the Lord up top.
He brought Zyda down to half HP with just 2 feathered airstrikes. And now
Acoustic.
Team Liquid Philippines,
Sige,
they
ano,
are going to
finger style
accompany
ba?
the Lord,
Simpleng
but they
chords,
want
ganyan?
to secure all inhibitor turrets before they do
Narda
anything.
is good. Always good to
They can watch, they can try to think
learn.
about how they're gonna
Wonderwall,
layer the
kahit
crowd
sobrang
control
di siya yung
abilities.
magandang
But they're getting
aralin
pumped
yan.
out
Dami kang
damage.
matututunan.
It's so tough right now. So tough for TNC Pro Team to do anything proactive. Everything that they can do is reactive alone.
And that is one word that we forgot to mention post-draft. It rhymes with orange. Range.
Mga caster
TNC
pa sa
is
ngayon.
lacking in
Handstand.
range. Look
What
at this
happened,
lineup.
Vela?
It's all
What
at
happened,
mid
Vela?
at best. And TLPH are playing with the far
Acoustic.
so maybe
Ano pa
that's
ba?
why it was okay for Sanji to, take the heat in the early to mid. For even Oheb, he can literally play map
Magandang
to map.
aralin yung Harana
That's
ba
why
yan?
we
Oh?
were also kind
Harana
of-
tsaka pare ko.
Okay,
Ayan.
I was close.
Kung basic,
Suggesting
kung
maybe the
ano,
Granger, but
entry level.
TNC
yan.
really just wanted to go for the
Magandang
1-1. So
aralin.
you were also mentioning something along the lines of confidence. That's probably really what we're seeing for
Kung medyo
now, but
advanced,
it's
try
just
mo
not
na
working
yung
for the
Canon
Phoenix
in
Army.
B.
If they lose this,
Ayan, kung
it's not
gusto mo na
confidence,
pang
it's
matagalan na. Kasi
Oh,
yun,
but
lahat
they
ng
are going to
major,
try to
yan,
do
major
something,
skill
though.
ang
They catch
matututunan mo
Stanford
dyan.
and get to burn him
Oy!
down. But there's a flicker still
JP
in the
Gods.
AOG. Now it's OM's time
J.
to go for
Peel.
the counter. And now TNC
Peel ni
are
JP
running
talaga.
away. They get to escape Carl TZ, but they lose one.
Ay,
They use
ano
the
ba?
glue as bait.
Maga kasi kamay ko eh.
The glue?
Namagitara nga eh.
Okay, TNC.
Ay, ano.
That's a question mark above our heads right now.
Okay,
As they get
what
to
happened
burst
there?
down Yaoi
Na-dislodge
like he
sila,
wasn't
tol.
there. Benny
Oy,
Curie tries
nakalipad.
for the stacks and he
Nice
successfully
kung
will get one
luy
top
pa.
down. Could this be a
Yun lang,
play
sakit.
for TNC to save
Unstoppable
the game? But it's a
Japes.
no, because there's too
6
much
to
damage
7.
from the cavalry and they get to secure
Sir
game
JP.
number 1.
Ito talaga, tingnan natin ha, dislodge
Looking for control
moments.
on the
Front lines here
Yeah.
of immediate Lansing escapes with the Crimson
purified. But
real life
there
things around
GG
and
mga tol,
I'm
instant.
for the counter.
Tingnan mo
really
Taberting,
from
oh.
team or from TNC.
Yan to.
They're the ones more capable right now of turning things around
Instant
and just going
reply.
for the counter engages.
Ah,
Red Mar, you
Anis.
can undo your blink. Here's
Instant reply yan, tol.
Gets
What
stunned.
happened, Bella?
so being so familiar with them. And now we
Parang
also
ikaw
see the
naman.
mechanics. Prime, but
Tayo, Pil.
will just to escape.
Di na
Yawi
mahalaga
gets
kung
caught by the
ilang
grab.
AOG ang namintis
Yeah,
mo.
no,
Mahalaga
one.
sa
That's how the members most line up.
mahalaga
It's hard.
mahalaga
TNC
sa
Pro team.
tama. Ito.
One,
What happened,
two
Vela?
members of Liquid out. Well, they've already
What
spent
happened,
majority of their
Vela?
resources and
Tignan natin. Okay.
there are
So,
still to
in
be other
fairness,
options
good
for-
target naman to si
or the
40. Pero sa tingin ko, Sanji ang better target. Ang
of
best
Liquid.
target. Para makalipad na
To
si
still
Benny ng walang
in the fight. Here comes
problema.
Yao.
So, na-zone out sila ni Japes dito.
bring the
Kaya tingnan mo yung
sources
galaw
and
ni Benny.
There are
Kala
still to
mo,
be other
ano,
options for
hindi,
the side
what
of
happened,
Liquid.
Vela?
To
Di
still
naman
bring
si
in the
Yawi
fight. Here
yata
comes
kaya, no?
Yawi bring
Sumimi-shimi siya doon, no?
the
Tapos
fight.
dalawa
Yawi-
yung zone out niya doon, no? Sabay hatak dito. Ang
try-
problem, since nakita niya, nakita ni Sanji pala, na bumuhat na si Sakura, which is
To look for-
si Kalea. And then, no space para si Trimar ay guluhin siya. So, nakapag-ulti siya ng Libra dito. That's what we're saying about the good target.
TZ though, he
So, naka-damage si Sanji.
goes in almost
Nakarambola na sa
like the
likod.
SOD coming in.
Then Yawi is dead. Tapos, si Trimar, si Mana sa likod, since ito, sobrang confined space na to, itong nakikita nyo na yan, talaga nagana na, sumasay blades na si
And
Moscow,
JB takes
na
out
binabanda
Yawi,
na.
but there's the crossbow down, but the damage is not enough
Oh,
once
instant
again.
reply.
OM takes down Benny Cutie 2. That's 2 members down from the Phoenix Army.
What happened, Vela?
Bittersweet. Seeing JP take down his former gold laner, Benny Cutie.
What happened, Vela?
It's more flexible in terms of when he can bring down his ultimate.
That's
It's
right.
not so rigid.
Sila na,
Because usually we think
dun,
Farsa
sir.
and Eve is like, oh, it's rigid. The feathered airstrike, real world manipulation, we always have to play around this. Where it's literally like, you can just
Instant.
freestyle it, you know?
He was like water, my friend.
Yeah, you gotta move like water.
He's acting it out. But I feel like there were attempts from TNC though to somehow,
Receive lang
Liquid,
ako.
if you will.
yeah, like
What happened, Vela? Yun.
buy time,
So,
really.
MVP
'Cause
natin Sanji.
Saito was
Understandable.
really
Maganda naman
trying to
pinakita
control
niya.
the
Tapos,
map in the early stages. There were a lot
siya
of
rin yung ano,
Their strike.
good target talaga eh.
the
Ano nangyari
in
pagka-push nun?
Of Once more, the chef cooking up.
with just
They can stand, they can wash, they can try to think
Grabe,
about how they're gonna
araruin
layer
lang
their
sila,
crowd
oh.
control abilities, but they're getting poked
Grabe,
out,
grabe, oh.
damaged. It's do
Minamama lang sila ni
Look at
Daddy
this
Japes.
lineup.
Eto
It's
na.
all
Yan natin na mangyayari.
mid. At
maybe the great line for the field. And a counter
Ito,
with something.
they lose this, it's not confidence, it's hubris.
So dito, I think sa moment na to, teka, tingnan natin kung alam nila umuwi si Sanford or si Sanji.
Also mentioning
Ay, hindi,
something along
nag-off
the
map
lines
si
of
Sanji.
confidence that
Ay, kita ba nila?
TNC really
Ah,
just
okay.
wanted to go for the
So,
wild shot.
alam
We
nila,
were also mentioning something along the lines of confidence that's probably really what we're
laking
seeing
bagay na
for
sentryan
now,
nila.
but it's just not working
So, alam
for
nila
the
umuwi.
Phoenix Army.
If they lose this,
Sanji. Kaya this time, di natin pwede ma-fault ang TNC
It's not
na
confidence,
tumalon
it's
sila kay
hubris.
Sanford knowing na mag-isa. Alam nila mag-isa.
But they are going
Kaso,
to try to do
the problem is, nandito ang peel ni Sir Japes. JP the peel. Alright, ayun o.
to burst him down. But there's a
Damn!
flicker
Si Lancy pa yung nahuli, yun lang.
going to try to do something
Ano
though.
siya
They
ulti?
catch
Hindi na siya
Sanford
ulti,
and
pero
get
siya
to burst him down.
Ah, akala niya makakalis na siya.
They are going to try to do something though. They
Or
catch
baka
Sanford
nakadrag
and get to
or
burst him
something.
down.
Oh, yun yung
But there's
dito
a
na
flicker
sila
still in the counter
nag-disastrous.
AOG. Now it's OM's time to go for the counter. And now
Dun
TNC
sila
are running away.
nag-disastrous.
They get to escape Carl Teasy, but they lose one.
the glue,
they use the glue as bait.
the glue. Okay, TNC.
That's a question mark above our heads right now as they get to
Ah, yun
burst
na,
down
that's it.
Yawi like he
Nag-cluster
wasn't
na siya.
there.
Benny
Benny
nakalipad
Cutie
pa
tries
rin,
to look
oh.
for the assassin. He
Okay,
successfully will
Sanji
get one
man.
out of the crossbow down.
Sanji
Could this be a
man.
play
Kaso
for
di
TNC?
pa ano, di pala kahit eh.
Draft alone, there wasn't much of a
Exact same threat it brings to the game.
What happened, Vela?
Except now it's been like mostly the perfect answer to TNC's lack of damage, so there wasn't really anyone there to take care of him, and so everyone in Team Liquid Philippines, I believe, were just really able to perform very consistently in this entire game. Aside from the fact that their conditions or the nature of their lineup was really just at an advantage up against TNC.
I know it's a 5-man game, but I think this already shows really just well how Team Liquid Philippines got through with it with the sandbag and the
Head-to-head,
wingman, of course, with the glue, the damage dished out by
Try.
Sanji. And of course, all of that leading to Carl TZ had the easiest farm in the world in this game. 803 GPM, even though Zyda had the better early game farm.
Head-to-head is
All
the
throughout,
most
Carl
important.
TZ
I
was just
think,
like, that
yes.
pose that he's
head-to-head
showing right now.
muna.
That's it. All right, cool. Thank you for the free jungle farm.
Trick or treat, TNC. Thank you. Literally moving from camp to camp, objective to objective. This just shows that TNC's arsenal, TNC's depth in the roster is so much more than we expected,
Oh,
especially
gusto
from the
ko ng,
early weeks of Season 15. No
Walang
longer
dayas.
is it
Dapat
just
tayo
baby
dyan.
cakes doing work. This
Tony?
could also be
Tony!
Sansan Duo and the Young Goat going to town.
Tony, wala ba tayo
Yeah,
dyan,
we're
Tony?
finally seeing the Sansan duo synergy again, as you've mentioned. Like,
But
it's not
hindi
the-
ko
it's
alam,
not the
Zero,
flat
sorry.
lavalier anymore,
Sorry,
but
alam
it
ko
kind of
nag-expect
is
kayo
still
ng
the same, right? Now that
information
they're able to just
about
reperform.
sa
And one of the
sa
things
mga
that I think people don't talk about enough
ano,
about the glue changes,
Mpl
other than his
skills at
kit
Naruto
like
skin.
being improved
I wish
overall,
I can
it's just
give you the
flow of
information.
being able to use glue more, the
talaga
animation
alam
flow is feels so good. It's
medyo apakis kasi ako
It's
sa mga
a
skin ngayon.
different hero almost,
Oo.
hence the week-long ban.
Yun
But
nga
now he's
natin,
back
4
and
minutes pa naman
earned
guys.
a
Tingnan natin
victory
ang
under
value.
Team Liquid. Now, we would like to send a heartfelt shout out to all of the cavalry watching, all right? All the fans of Team Liquid. There is a watch party happening at Nona Manis Coffee, Axel Coffee, and Rosella
Dewa.
Coffee in Indonesia.
Whoa, that's international, but now we
From now
also
on, we're
have
Dewa
some
na, Viva
guys to
Fair.
shout out there
Fun
locally
facts.
from the SK Hall, Barangay
DP
Rizal, Science City of
Well,
Muñoz,
who
Nueva
initiates
Ecija,
first? Who?
and Barangay
Malapit na lang dyan eh.
So we have
Dewa,
couple
though,
of
with
watch
more
parties
pressure, it's going to be
around the
harder
world.
for Navi to
Shade,
look for the practical
jungle.
moves.
That's
The
right.
jaw head
Wala
lock,
sa
nice
Navi.
pushes,
Maraming
and they
salamat
have
to all of
Sasuke
the
and Chihara.
Indonesian and
Sino to?
Filipino
Crazy
fans watching.
skin animation
You guys
here,
are making
definitely.
MPL
Yeah,
bigger
the
than it
Susano
already
O.
is.
It's not the perfect Susano.
Continue, keep
This
going.
is not an
Like, good
early
example
Susano
of all the
O.
other fan bases, like,
Technically, there
who
is
do
two
the watch
O's,
party?
but I think it's pronounced Susano, right?
And
Is it Susano O?
now the
No, it's
blue
Susano.
man.
The glue
Yeah.
I don't know,
The
Oh,
actually.
gamit. Hindi siguro naka-download
This is
resources guys. Ayun na,
the time where I
nakikita
miss
niyo.
Arashi.
Smart power
Dude,
balls,
yeah.
we're looking
Is he a
for
Naruto savant, though? He's an anime
in the
savant.
arena who's willing
But
to
is he a
do the
Naruto savant? Oh, you know
power
what?
balls
That's
that is on
right.
display
Because he
this
might
season.
like the
Normies,
Beast Wars.
yeah. Normies watch Naruto, but
Normies
Arashi,
watch
it's
Naruto.
like my little sister or something like something.
Yeah, he knows like
Super
a
Kimi
lot
by
more anime
Octa.
than
This
both of us
mid,
combined.
mid Kimi yung mga...
Three of us
ah,
combined.
Three of us compete maybe
Ah,
the entire
guys, ang
Indo desk.
nakita natin sa mga
we gotta
panay.
stop for the
Sabi
Arashi
nila
slander here.
nilalagay si Pentagon.
Okay.
Kasi para sa akin yung dash,
in-game equipment by Dunia Games right now. You asked about the
hindi ganun
items
ka-enough
on
para maging
Susuke.
with the
What's going on?
foreground.
gold
Alright,
lane ka or jungle para sa
Typical
mobility.
Suyo build. I want to know the Easton Shin build. The
Ano
only
na cooldown?
on which to end this battle.
Tingin ko para siyang,
It's a-
pwede mo siyang gawing super mini
Holy
fire sa
crystal
dun sa...
for Shive.
Congratulations.
So they
They
have hit their power spike. This is the moment where Dewa can really
She's
get
at
threatened
Jersey.
by
What
this.
happened,
He's a
Vela?
member of the, world-renowned
Why you crying
group, the
again?
Tubbies.
I know, Vampire, right?
Shoutouts to Adam Mersey.
Vampire
who,
will fight to me.
Is seated
What are you
at
doing
the
here?
cavalry area?
Yes.
I trusted to protect you,
fan
Vela.
group of, Elder
But you
Sister
did
Shinto.
not.
That's
I will
right.
sure you
It
die,
came
Edward.
naturally to her to do that pose.
Ang
Now,
gulo.
I have a question
Ang
for you.
gulo.
Do you need pro level speed? Make the smart switch and stay ahead of the game.
Get your smart eSIM today for only 99 pesos.
So
and
yeah,
experience ultra-fast 5G
yung
connectivity on any
Kimi
device.
ngayon ginagamit
No
sa
SIM
main
swapping
mute lane.
needed.
All these that we
Instead
mentioned
na
just now, they are
jungle
available
and gold
now at
dahil
Smart Stores nationwide
ako
or online
personally,
by the
ang
Smart Online Store.
dahilan
Sound
ko
on
kung
this
bakit
amazing
mas trip ko sa iba kasi
Action starts in about a minute,
mas okay
alright?
na
I would
ano
assume we're
guys,
gonna get
mas
the
okay na
science swap update and it'll be
mas okay
the
yung
TNC's
dash
court.
niya,
So
mas
it's
fit siya
side
for
of the
mid
court.
laner
They
para
wanna
hindi
be
ganun
on.
kataas yung
You
risk.
know,
Mas
Records
madali
wanna
kasi
stay
mag-farm
blue,
sa
they
mid.
wanna go blue, or is
Tapos,
DJ on a red
Apart from that,
suggest
pag
go
gold
blue,
kasi,
honestly, 'cause I feel
napakalaking
like,
bagay
there's
ng farm
no
na
answer
binibigay
just
sa'yo.
yet for the
Mas
blue
maganda
side,
na ikaw yung may
blue pick in the
mas
first
madaming
phase. Yeah, 'cause you don't
mobility
ban
tools,
it.
I guess.
You open up so much if you
Among
decide
dito
to ban
na
that
view pa
hero,
namin
and you
ito.
can't first pick it in the first two. Not a lot of teams want to do that.
Yeah.
So
Natin.
I think they have to go blue side here.
Tignan
Yeah, and I have
natin.
to say the Hayabusa ban by Team Liquid Philippines earlier in
Oh,
the blue
yeah.
side was something I did not entirely expect, but it was so good, I believe.
It was
Since
so great.
you literally narrow down the options for Zyda for a decent matchup in the jungle,
Yep.
which was
Hindi
something I was looking
nagwawala.
forward to seeing. But then he was stuck with the Suyo, which they picked in
Uy,
third.
nahatak pa na.
And it
Ang
felt like
Kimi.
they just really had to make it work. it wasn't Zyda doing Zyda things
Yeah.
during game number 1.
He tried to do Zyda
yung
things, but he
faking
did it with a
kasi.
hero that was gimped. That was literally...
Second nung
again,
ano, ni Kimi.
the soul was sucked out of Suyo in that recent patch. I didn't expect that, honestly. Looking back at that patch, I honestly thought that the removal of the magic defense would have been like something I could shrug off, but no. You
It's
saw
the
in that
second
game
skin
literally
lang, guys.
how he couldn't even try to
Kimi.
dive Sanji as much anymore.
Yeah,
Ay, second
the
tuloy.
entire
Ulti. Ulti.
Suyo
Ang ibig ko
Joy
sabihin,
matchup
guys.
used to be
It's the ulti of
somewhat
Kimi.
a lot more at the same level,
Ayun,
but
no? May
Clearly,
second,
it
ano na kasi
used to
may
be
effect.
Naruto
Ayun, no,
versus
secondary
Sasuke.
effect.
But even if the skin does show that literally
Kakadas
it
niya
feels
lang,
more like
boss!
Goku Yamcha.
Kakadas niya lang, tapos di siya nakastack.
I
Salami!
didn't watch a lot of anime.
What's up,
other
random
than,
mo sa inyo?
Well, it is Naruto time, so yeah, Naruto.
Yeah, you just watched Naruto. But yeah, no, it's a far-flung rivalry now, and that's maybe one of the reasons why TNC didn't put up as much of a fight as we wanted them to. So with now, the blue side's
Salami yun, ah.
Should they do this now? Should
Pero wala
they
naman
try to
din,
put
Lord. So,
Zyda
we'll
on a
see pa
winning
rin.
jungle matchup? Is that one way to start? What else should they do?
Well, yeah, the Joy's open for them. Get the Joy. What's tough is you cannot first pick Hayabusa. You can get in the clap back. I think they have to
Yeah.
consider that the main
Draft na,
trade
mga
is
tol.
going to be
Ayan na
Hayabusa,
yan.
Ling, Joy.
Ooh.
Play around that, and then
Types
if they
na
can,
to.
they have to get the glue this time around in the first phase.
So now, majority of the junglers are still open except for the Fanny. So we might see the trades happen this time around, not unless Team Liquid Philippines still wants to ban out a jungler from those top picks, from those power picks that are still available. Because the trend is pretty much the same. It's just like they literally switched sides. The maps are almost the same.
The Joy's still open. The aforementioned Ling, Harane Kakashi, Hayabusa still out there. Ling has been getting a lot of success post-patch. I'm thinking like, what, 66% win rate? Like, pretty good for a fringe meta hero.
So what do they ban here? Is it still the Hayabusa or are they switch? I doubt it.
Joy na, first pick ulit. Ay, di ba pala first pick? TNC.
It'll
Pwede ba
gonna
din
be the
Joy?
Hayabusa. So they opened both
Ng
the Joy and
Kaluya.
Hayabusa
Pwede,
trades.
Joy.
Okay, so they go for the Joy.
Kaso may
Because
Fovius
the
pala.
Hayabusa is not what they're getting. They actually have the option to go Hanzo now that they've taken out the Kalea.
Oh yeah.
I think Team Liquid
Harit pa rin ng
it might be
trip
good
ng
for them to
Liquid eh.
rush, steal the
Mas good
Cho,
pa rin naman siya sa
then go
Joy.
to Moskov.
Ayun.
But now they're gonna go
Fovius
a
Harith.
completely different route. They get the Fovius and the Harith together, so they
So,
don't have to worry about
di
the
rin
Fovius or the
nakahayabusa.
Harith. Moskov, Glue, I think are gonna be great pickups here for TNC Pro
Glue.
Team. Similar to how Mpl Ph drafted first phase in game
Ito
number
ba
1.
Moscow?
even if
Di
they
yata,
do
di yata
Moscow
maganda
glue,
Moscow. Granger na lang to.
I'm thinking about it. Hold up. Does
Sabay
the
peel.
new
Either Gatot or
split
Hylos.
take singular
So,
targets
benefit
off
ng
of Shadow
Hylos.
Kill?
Merong
Because that would be a good stopper.
guaranteed stun. Fovius.
Oh.
Oh, never mind then. You're still Hayabusa. Here we
Yun.
go.
Oo, si Kakashi.
Okay, so probably a safer route here for TNC. I mean, what we've been mentioning earlier was the
Di
fact
ko
that
alam,
it took
Binara,
so much
di ko
to
alam
pull
talaga.
off their
Oh,
lineup.
wala
And
akong
now
idea
it
sa
seems like
mga
a relatively simpler approach with the first 3 picks that they've shown us so far.
Yeah. I'm honestly quite surprised here. But then again, with after what happened in game
Gold
number
lane?
1, where you ended up with a lineup that wants to do a lot of things right at the right
Malakas pa
time,
siya mag-lane.
maybe
Yata.
simpler was what they decided to be like, you know what, we gotta go for something more
Yeah.
easy to pull off, not so demanding.
Mas jungle
Which is
ata
not
si
bad.
ano Wires.
I
Di ko
think
pa
as of
masabi
Cho
guys.
is
Di
gonna
kasi
make
ako,
appearance
di ko kasi
somewhat in
na-try
the
pa sa
draft
gold.
here.
Pero di ko
Phil
siya
has been
ma-imagine
overlooked, but
mag-lane.
Even though Matilda gets the
magaling pa
second
siya
phase
mag-face.
open, there's a chance that she might not show up here
Side
anymore.
pa siya sa lane.
I think they parked this high loss in the EXP lane. Then you have to play
Habang
around
Julian nga
mobile,
dun.
fast-moving roamers for both of these two teams. Cho, Khalid, the likes of those.
Choka leads as the Badang's already taken out too.
Nice ban sa
Also
Padang. So
lacking a
yung
mid laner.
Hylos.
Yeah.
Both sides. What's still out there? Farsa, Eve, still open.
Unless, is TNC Pro Team brave enough to go
For
Franco?
Liquid, pag ganito,
Yawi has
magbabalin na to
had
yata.
some
I
success
think.
with Franco.
Hindi na nila
Oh,
kailangan
there's
ng
a
sobrang
Sicilian
pang
too, if they
habol
wanna
sa likod eh.
be
Then
really
Sanji.
safe
Pero yung Valier pwede pa.
in their lineup. Oh,
Gumagaban sila ng glue. Most
Yeah.
likely,
If Liquid wants to
ganun
block
ka-burst
pick,
yung
I think
kunin
they go
nila.
Sicilian 4.
mm.
Solan
That'd be a really
Johit,
good
may Cho
block
pa
against
naman.
TNC Pro Team.
Pwede pa,
Yeah.
ay hindi,
Either
bibigyan
Sicilian
nila
or
yung
the
Cho.
Forza. Actually, no, you have the high
Open
position,
nila
you
yung
don't
Cho
have to worry about
ng TNC, I mean. Tapos,
it. Eve
pag
is still
hindi
on the
finort
table,
pick
excuse
ng,
me, right?
ng Liquid, kunin
There's
nila
so
yung
much
Cho.
still left there for the mid
Alright,
laners.
so it's Eve, Sicilian,
Baka yung mga,
they ban the Selena instead.
edit
Cho
ata
Khalid,
pwede
Tigreal.
kay, ano, MR.
Ooh.
There's so many
Harlot
choices
siguro
left.
pwede
Yeah.
rin yung mga ganun.
It's like up to them what they think they need. If they want to go static, Liquid play the Eve.
I feel like Sanji doesn't want to see static though.
Hey!
Yeah, he wants to be mobile.
Wants to be mobile.
Sige
So
na nga,
that's the case, go
para
Farsa.
sa maganda pa rin na
Superman just
pwede na.
pulled.
Para safe.
And Superman just straight up
Last pick
bought
na lang
that
nila yung
skin.
JP Hero.
Congratulations.
No, ay, may
Naruto,
chip!
there's
Ay, hindi, wala
another
ng chip.
Naruto animation.
Farsa ka.
Acquire
Farsa?
skill right there in the
Maganda. Oh,
back.
Farsa.
Okay, he doesn't want to stay static.
Yeah, he does get the Farsa. Okay.
Again, MVP
Safe.
performance
Safe,
in game
safe na
1.
lang.
Who are we? Who
Never
is Coach
option.
RC? Who is the rest of the team to say no?
He's sticking with it. So do they still want to consider the
Solo
Sicilian
ng
or
Freebird, di
match
ba?
the range with the Eve here?
They can go double tank it, they can go Gata Kacha, and then
Wala
Gata
silang
Kacha
gatot.
Eve.
Because I got banned, sir.
Oh, Gatot's
Gatot's
gone,
banned.
yeah.
Hero
Oh,
ni
you're
ano
right,
dito.
you're right.
Yeah, so Cho, maybe Cho?
Farsa. Cecilio na ata si Lance
Any
dito.
Hilda's showing up.
I don't think there will be.
Lance.
for
Unless
this
you
one anymore.
unless you throw that Hylos into roam.
I will not like
Valen, oh.
Well,
Yeah.
for Yaoi, yeah.
Sila yung mga Valen.
Up
Sabay
against
Chu.
the Farsa, no.
Yeah, maybe Cho then.
Oh,
Maybe Cho. It's
as
just that
expected
it'll be the
kanina,
same
di ba?
problem,
Pag hindi
man.
kinuha
Like, you
nung...
see two purifies and then
Ayun,
that
Cho,
one.
sila
You
yung
start kicking the
kukuha.
phobias.
Yeah.
I heard the
Valen,
show.
Valen
Okay.
pwede.
Oh.
I mean, just thinking about
Brave
like yung mga
choice.
heroes
You
ni
get the
Lance.
Feather Airstrike, but
Knowing
against
him.
the Phobius,
Hindi
So
siya
they have
tinova.
somehow
So, Valen na lang
range
para sa mga
compared to
sasa.
game 1.
you're giving a lot of dashes for the Phobius.
Yun ni
Yeah.
JP.
That's
Di ko
four
rin.
heroes who are very
Sakto lang, may Valen.
Only one of them runs
Yeah.
on
Para
4
dun sa-
legs.
Oh,
And it is the Tigreal.
Ay, yung nga,
the one
Tigreal
that we
nga.
mentioned earlier.
okay.
Okay. Safe, safe,
okay.
safe, safe, safe.
Lancey can choose between
Safe
either
tayo,
of these
safe
two.
tayo.
But if they really want to go for like the pokes and the range, which they clearly lacked in game number 1, there's the Feathered Airstrike.
Yeah.
But then,
I'm hungry.
Liquid Philippines.
Be a lot of fighting.
Yeah,
Sort of.
Cortesio the Hayabusa.
Yeah. The good thing about the lineup of TNC Pro Team is, other than the Granger, I think the Granger's going to be the only one usually left vulnerable to
Ako
the
din gusto ko yung
the shadow kill of the
Hinata.
Hayabusa.
Ay, oh.
Because everything in TNC Pro Team is very close range, that they can distribute the damage of the
Baras.
ultimate of the Hayabusa much better.
They can juggle around.
They can juggle it, so that might be the tough thing for
Ano ba?
unless he gets to catch Lancey.
Gusto ko
using
lahat
the
ng
Feathered
skin eh.
Airstrike, and
So
the
far,
TNC Pro
lahat.
Team lose their
Kaya
formation,
ginawa nilang
leaving
meta.
an opening for the Hayabusa to go
Okay,
in.
siguro yung
Good thing
Gara
about
lang hindi
Mpl Ph
masyado.
is that
Pero
once it
baka
gets to late game,
i-buff
the
nila
Hayabusa
si
can
Casey.
initiate, use
Para
that shadow
lang-
kill
para
early to
lang
start off
main
the
phase.
damage.
Yep.
And
Pero so
then
far,
everyone
nagaganda
else
na ako
can
sa
just
lahat.
clean up. While for TNC Pro Team, yeah, it's dependent on the
Ang
pick-off.
Welcome to
Lalo
Mobile
sa
Legends.
Sano,
Game number
ganda
2
ng-
match point for
Ganda ng
TNC Pro
concept
Team.
ng Sano.
This time around, going for a more reliable lineup,
Kay
going up
Sasuke.
against Team
Bagay
Liquid
sa kanya.
Philippines, who are charging
Bagay
towards
din naman yung
victory.
Lucas.
I'll tell you now, it feels like TNC with that Valentina
Sino
pick
lamang?
at
Para
the
sa
end. And
TL.
again, the cornered show, that's what we call in the business. They had no choice. Or they had no choice.
Yeah.
I feel like it's another two-step plan for the Phoenix Army. I think Liquid, again, are going to play a little more better, especially when they find their footing mid-game.
Yeah, I had the
So,
same
kasi
thoughts
yung
when the
Harit
Valentina
yata
showed out. I'm not
untouched
sure if
dito.
this is the kind of comp or style that TNC
Lotek.
really wants to
Gusto mo nung
play
ano,
into this
Kakashi.
lineup of Team Liquid Philippines, since again,
Gushon.
earlier we were
Pwede, no? Te-teleport,
talking about
teleport.
how they need
Oh,
to
gusto mo nung
almost always
Kakashi.
close in order for their lineup to work, and now it's quite similar, just except the fact that they have a bit more of range in the form of Benny Cutie on the Granger.
Trying to see here where TNC Pro Team can potentially get an opening before the turtle. Usually teams don't want to risk it, but they have the
Slightly
lineup
lang
that
naman
can
TL.
go for
Pero
it with a strong
tingin ko
crowd
winnable
control
naman sa
combo of
TNC.
the Cho and
Hindi
the
naman
Valentine
siya,
to
wala
set
naman
up
naka-draft.
an early pick-off for
50 lang
Zyra,
honestly.
maybe.
Pero
Team
parang
Liquid
TL ako
are
dito
also
sa ano,
not
Ate Grill.
giving any possibilities for that to happen. You saw how JP
May
and Sanji
Farsa.
were handling the
May
waves
combo
in the
agad eh.
center of the map within their
Obvious
towers, so they're
yung
expecting
problem din ng
possibilities.
TNC
Uh-oh.
dito. Dami nilang
I don't know if
problems.
they smell this.
Same with
Zaida is
TNC.
in the river brush. Three Martini comes in.
Three Martinis there.
Yeah,
though.
nice.
Though
Ang ganda ng
Carl
entry
TZ tries to
inside.
a temporary pick off, and now it's JP who's forced to
nag-ulti
use
si
his
Carl.
flicker. Sanford's
Grabe, trigger
already here
discipline.
as
Ng
well.
aking idol.
But it's only JP who burned his flicker.
The trigger
But Sanji
discipline
uses
from Carl
the
TC.
Oh,
Knowing na may
almost
third,
happened
di
what we
nag-first
mentioned
ng ult.
TNC set up for it and
Sabay kuha ng blue, level 5 siya ngayon. Nice ult mula kay Lance, honestly.
They're poking
Na-bypass ni
Team
Carl,
Liquid Philippines
okay.
really well. There's
Yun
the
lang,
Glorious pathway as
ni-reset.
well, but the turtle gets reset.
Oh, just a soft
Di yata
reset.
okay yun
Still
for
4 members
Mr. for
apiece here.
TNC peoples.
Present. Oh, neither side want to commit.
I think
Makakuha
the
kasi
Philippines have to give
ng
this up
red
as,
ito.
Carl TZ
Si
needs to get his
Carl
orange buff
double in
first.
Ohib.
And the Joy will be getting to the turtle
Tapos
first, unless he decides
magkaka-force
to go
si
for the purple
JP.
buff. Let's see.
Yep, JP still yet to get his level 4 too. So it seems like the turtle fight is postponed for
Yeah.
later.
I don't think it's going to be a heavy
Postponed.
fight. If ever it's going to be Team Liquid Philippines watching TNC Pro Team get it. JP's almost level 4 though. Yawi!
He goes for
Ayun,
the-
napakagad ng sipa
Yeah, the
from
wave,
Japes
the
kaso
dragon
parang inahaliw
onto
pa niya.
JP, who
Tinulungan
just
ba niya
barely
kanyang
got
tropa
enough
na
time to set
nag-level?
things up, but Sanji though answers
Uy!
with the double
Zaida
kill.
man!
Yet Zaida in the end, however, still gets the turtle.
JP got at least some of the implosion in,
Yeah.
and it resulted to sure a turtle concession
Yes,
to
maganda yung
TNC,
sipa niya ni
but the
Yawi.
chef is
Comment-
cooking. What a
comment ulit.
spicy
Chu
appetizer.
Yawi.
Yeah, that was a great turnaround
Ano
there
yung
for Team Liquid Philippines.
Raikiri
Right
nga
at the
ulit
very
eh?
second,
Hindi
clutch
ko
from
naalala ko
JP,
na yung
even
Raikiri.
more clutch by Sanji to make sure that they get to secure those 2 kills. It balances out the win that TNC Pro Team got there, and it keeps it a much more closer affair. Still very execution-based here in the early game.
Yep, that's a flicker force out from Sanford upon seeing 3mar alongside Lancy, also using the glorious pathway. So somehow they get to really bait out skills every now and then. But Zaida's
Sanji Genius
here.
one, first item.
All right, I think it's time that they gave Sanford some pressure.
Genius
It's
one,
relatively
first
free because, again,
item.
Treemar
Puts
wants to leave the lane
Genius.
as much as possible, so that
Yeah.
leaves Sanford with a lot of time to himself. Up top, though, check
Para
this
sa
out.
ano, no?
Sanford drafted by Oheb.
Will Betty Cutie
Ah,
survive this because
sabagay.
Yawi's right there, but the
combo
Purify
naman.
gets to save Oheb from the knockup of the Jeet Kundo.
Grabe
They
yung
get
Ohib.
to
Instincts.
actually avoid the threat of Yawi right there.
It felt like
Bakit
Oheb was able to
Tigreal
trace out
sinipa?
the entire
Tama lang yun,
form
kasi
of the Zaman Force with how
yun
he was able to
yung,
avoid everything that Yawi brought to the
advantage.
table.
Para
He did force out the
mauna
Purify,
sila
but
dun sa turtle
Oheb
for
didn't die.
position.
That's what you call coverage. Liquid Philippines, almost Sixth Sense-like when they came to the rescue of Oheb,
Galing ah.
leaving Sanford again down here to the bottom.
Galing.
Second turtle will spawn in the upper quarter.
Interested
about
ako
20
dito
seconds
sa
from
item
now,
build ng
and I guess that's
ating
why
idol na si Sanji.
Liquid, the Stallions, they are circling about. And Yawi, they can put tabs on Yawi. Again,
Depende
Yawi,
sa
despite being
situation
outnumbered here,
talaga
look,
yung
there's 4
good
members
target.
of TLPH around, yeah?
Sa first third,
Yawi's still there. Yawi's still threatening.
kailangan
An
medyo
amazing
ano
kick and flicker combo.
Yep, and JP still has the flicker implosion
yeah.
too. So
Adapt-
there are a lot of
adaptive-
resources intact for
adaptive
both
ka.
sides. Whoever wants to go for the engage first here in this upcoming turtle. But that's another Zaman Force though, already used by Oheb up top! And now he gets to actually take the way of the dragon, but Betty Cutie won't be able to
Yun
provide
lang.
the double of
Oh,
damage!
nahuli ni
because
JP dalawa.
as well,
Si
going in
Oheb
for his
nagwala.
seven members
Carl, yun
behind.
nga lang,
Yawi falls
nadapa.
down. Zaida gets a trade onto Carl TZ at that! And
Sayang, bumalik
TNC
pa si Carl.
might be very happy with what they were able to
Yes,
take!
they are.
Oh,
Carl
but
yun.
Team Liquid Philippines countered
So,
that. They
yung
got
Genius
two.
one
It's
may
a 2
konting
for
synergy
1.
with
Team
the-
Liquid Philippines walking out on top.
I
Carl
guess
TZ
with
got
the
taken down, but he'll be able to
Harit
get back
early game.
quickly.
Papababain mo yung
Wow, what
magic
an entry
din.
by Carl TZ to find Betty
Kumain
Cutie
tayo
as
sa
Yawi
intro.
went in for Oheb.
They're not done. Sanford gets a good amount of firepower laid out on
So
him.
the level
Luckily,
9,
he is
Carl
quite
level
chunky.
8.
He already has a
Level
radiant
enter.
armor. Here
Wala pa
comes
rin
the
blue.
cavalry
Ito si
clapping
Carl.
back. JP looking for range. Carl TZ taking care of his purple first turtle at half health.
Could this be round
Ay, ay, ay.
2? Because Carl TZ is yet to come to the
Uy, dami
scene,
siyang
but
third.
Sanford already goes in
Diyos ko,
with the
Carl,
order
hindi
pursuit,
dinamage yung
and
third.
Carl TZ still finds a way to secure the
no.
objective. Yawi and Zaida are down, and 40
Dun
gets
sa
a double kill
disaster.
on 3 more
Dislodge
TZ.
ulit
Lanzy's
ang mga
left
tropang
alone,
team.
steals away the feathered
Tropang
airstrike,
itik.
but 40 gets a triple
Aray.
kill, and Sanji's on a killing spree.
The Flames have been wiped out. TNC Pro
Grabe
Team
naman, Carl.
all off the map.
Ang
Off
lala
of
mo naman
Liquid's
pala.
clapback. They take the turtle too. Oh my lord, the Sansan duo is back.
Di na to.
Sansan, Carl
Instant
TZ
reply,
doing
guys.
gold
Wala pa tayong instant
things.
reply dyan.
JP leading the charge as the daddy of the group. And Oheb being able to freely do damage. He's racked up a lot of assists, but he's been able
Hi,
to deal
Jans.
damage to bring TNC down. And again, all of the dashes on the side of TNC Pro Team help Sanford's cause, help Sanford to live long enough to
Grabe
deal
lang
damage, to
laki
be a
ng spike ko.
nuisance for TNC Pro
Nung
Team.
ano,
And
lamang.
Sanford walking away with a triple kill
Ah,
there.
Domi?
Yeah, that was the biggest sign of it.
Talaga.
Yeah, I don't
Ano
wanna,
Domi?
I don't
Di
wanna
yata
doubt
okay
Carl
yung
TZ
Domi
making
dito,
it to the
Ford.
fight anymore.
Oh,
He was
no.
able to clutch, steal away the. Wait, what? Sanji?
Sabagay, may revive.
Sanji.
Deep.
Tapos
He's going
ano
for
pala,
the
di,
three,
wala
but he
palang
flies through all of them. There's a knock
wala
from
palang
Yawi,
glowing
but
one si
there's a
Sanji,
Purify to
kaya
keep
pala
them
siya, kaya
safe.
pala nag-rush
If
siya
I
ng ano.
saw that maneuver in a ranked game, I would be
Kaya pala
swearing,
nag-rush siya
shouting at my
ng
mid laner. But
dominance
this is
ice.
Sanji we're talking about.
What
That
happened,
was enough
Vela?
time for that wave up top to just passively push. They were playing Patsy. They were using him as a scapegoat.
This is what we talked about with Sanji earlier. Well, we thought he'd go static. It's like, nah, he wants mobile. He wants to be able to go around, use wings by wings.
One!
Oh, Lassie!
Ay, Diyos ko ka!
Damage being taken by Lancey. Fortunately, he was able to dodge the
Ayun na.
last one, but
Glowing.
Sanji, he's been positioning
JP
himself in very
naka-conceal.
unusual places, but he still gets
Okay,
to save himself
checking
every
lang,
time.
idols.
Flaming
Kuha
meatballs
tayo
from the
blue.
sky. Chef Sanji, what do you have cooking up next? Attempting a Grand Theft Purple, Team
Kaida.
Liquid Philippines.
Wala, Zinon.
Able to commit to this, giving it over to, what is that? Did it go to OHAB? Looks like it did.
Just a bit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it did.
Grabe,
From
sarap!
feet of the Harris,
May
it looks
more
like.
purple
And
ka.
Liquid will be able to get the
Sabay
score
Lord.
without a problem as TNC Pro Team again now.
Grand Finals. Gusto ko
Drafted
Liquid
in the corner on the
versus
roam
Onyx.
pickup. 2 games now that
Yan ang
they've played
magandang
a
laban.
pickoff style roam and it just didn't work out well for them.
Rora,
Again, that's all
Rora,
they
Onyx,
had.
maganda
And
rin,
guess who's
honestly.
benefiting
Pero
from all that?
Liquid
It's
Onyx
Sanford.
ang
You
maganda
could
para
have
sa
had
akin.
a chunkier roll, right?
Maangas.
But no, even Yaoi, you could hear him shout alongside Lancey, especially when they got wiped out earlier. No. Sanford's focus just stomped on him.
in as early as the laning phase, we weren't able to see 3mar TZ with the usual expectations of really dominating the mechanics in the lane, being on the high loss though. So now it's been,
Op.
or it's clearly TNC having to defend this 8K gold lead in Team
Hirap
Liquid
niyan,
Philippines'
Vela.
hands.
Oh, surgical. Liquid Philippines escorted those waves, even got rid of those holy
Hirap niyan,
defenses
Vela.
in mid
Legit.
and top.
What happened?
That's an extra 2 minutes that they could have had for a free clear, but no, Liquid took that away too.
It might be overly aggro, but it looks
I think
endable
when
here
it
for Team
fix
Liquid
ng TNC,
Philippines.
kasi ano lang
They
yan,
have holy
chemistry.
shields though, TNC Pro Team.
Sa
in
ngayon,
the
tingin ko
bot.
mag-fix na
That's
sila
it.
ng lineup.
Will JP
Decide
go
na sila
for a
ng
setup, or
playoffs
will they
lineup nila,
prioritize
tas
to take down
batayan
the
nila 3
turrets
weeks
first?
naman yung
There's
break.
the conceal coming in
Yun
from
yung ano,
JP,
tingin ko
gets denied
para
by the glorious
maano nila.
pathway,
Pero ang lakas
and
niyang team na yun
still
talaga.
they're able to get some
Contender.
space.
Legit,
However,
oh, hep.
Martini now gets bursted
Oh
down by
my God!
Sanji. We're
Trimar.
counting endless
Ba't ka nakabuka?
duos and synergies now for Team Liquid
Gusto niya
Philippines
kasing
given their
iwasan yung
performance.
And they still don't get
sabog
rid
ni
of the
Sanji.
Purify.
They look busted. Team
So,
Liquid Philippines
kung
look
sa
busted
pag-iwas
as
niya
the
dun
base
sa
might
ulti
just
ni
get
Sanji,
busted by Team
naging in
Liquid.
rin siya
And
ni
they still
Oheb.
have a potential
Grabe.
setup coming
Oy,
out.
sipa.
But Yawi comes first.
Oy, kaso
JP
na Fury.
tries to
Oh
follow
my God,
everyone,
implosion!
and he
Dalawa!
gets to catch two
Inubos ni
members
Carl.
of the
Oh
Phoenix
my
Army.
God.
Now it's almost
JP.
a wipeout, and it's only
JP Tigril
3
is
teams
real.
left to defend. Only spamming the
Tapos,
recall
ang
alongside the
boxy.
cavalry, because they will be going
Hi,
for
Trimar.
the
Namiso
2-0
ba kami?
sweep, but they still don't want to end the game.
Eh,
And now it finally
tapos.
does.
Like a Raikiri straight to the heart. Team Liquid Philippines scores a sweep, 2-0.
Grabe, ang bilis ng laban. What happened, Vela?
What we talked about, that was the condition.
Okay.
Full throttle. It's the final lap. TNC Pro Team looked like they had to
Natin
play
na.
for changing tires.
Ay,
They
na
had
interview
blocks
mo. Panoorin mo
twice.
natin yung interview
Well,
bago
Team
natin
Liquid
replay.
Philippines just had DRS up and went for the checkered flag.
Man, I love track and field.
It seems like your 2-0 prediction's right after all.
Yep, again, it was a lot of intangibles that TNT was playing with. And fundamentally, theoretically, the science of MLBB did not side with them today. So that's why they had to take their bow, take the L, and reconsider. This being their final match in the regular season of Mpl Philippines Season 15.
Laro
GG well
today.
played, TNC, but the day belongs
Binastos
to
eh.
the
No,
cavalry.
it's a
At the
gege.
end of the day, they already know that they have secured the
What
top
happened,
5
Vela? Ang bilis ng
spots.
Vela.
TNC 5. As you may say, but now Team Liquid, they're
Hindi,
one
hindi
step
na rush. Depende.
closer
Wala pa
to
nakikitang
actually
first
sealing
item.
in
Ano.
their upper bracket slot.
Now all they need is one more game win. Not match win, game win. Let's see how they feel about this victory. Let's go on stage with Team Liquid Philippines.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Uy.
here are your winners, Team Liquid Philippines!
May Japanese.
Boys, congratulations! Papalapit na kayo doon sa upper bracket spot na gusto nyong makuha. Carl TZ, gusto ko lang malaman, ano bang meron sa TLPH ngayon? Kasi parang ang bilis. Nung nakita nating mga laban, may iba ba? Nagkaroon ba kayo ng full-on adjustment during the
Parang
week break na nakuha natin? Or ano bang bago sa TLPH ngayon?
Tingin ko po sobrang laking bagay po nung Sibol Combine. Kasi halos lahat ng magagaling na junglers parang nakita ko kung anong ginagawa nila eh. So parang ginagaya ko ganun. Kami lahat.
Actually, gusto namin malaman yun. Kamusta ba yung naging combine? Kasi nakikita lang namin sa
Lapit mo
stories,
naman, Carl.
nag-enjoy kayo and I can say na lahat naman sila nag-enjoy. Pero ikaw personally, Carl TZ, gaano ba kalaking tulong yung nagkakasama-sama kayong lahat all throughout na nagpa-practice kayo kahit iba-iba kayong pinanggalingan ng team?
Siyempre po, nakakalaban namin yung isa't isa, sabay nakikita namin yung mga weakness namin, tapos parang sinasabi namin kung ano yung mga mali, ganun. Tapos, siyempre, ginagaya na rin namin yung mga feeling namin mas makasama, ganun.
Yan.
Mukhang
Lupit.
nakadagdag
Carl.
na yung
Grabe
combine
ka, Carl.
nila dun sa experience nila ngayon. At Carl TZ, gusto ko
Thank
naman
you, combine.
matanong kasi kanina, nung pinapanood namin yung palaga ni JP and Yawi kanina, hindi masyadong mainit eh.
Oo, hindi.
Oo. Pero
Hindi.
ngayon, gusto kong malaman,
Tumatawa ka na naman, wala pa nga eh.
wala pa, ba?
Malay natin, wala, nagte-testing lang.
Gano'n naman kayo
TNC,
confident
pinalaro lang
na
talaga lahat.
makakapasok kayo sa Grand Finals? Oo. Finals agad.
Finals agad.
Wala muna. Ayaw muna ni...
Ayaw po muna.
Ayaw mo muna, ayaw.
Ayaw muna niya
humble
magbigay.
TLPH na
Oo,
napapanood
ayaw
natin
mo na niya
ngayon.
magbigay ng porsyento. Actually,
Eto
ito,
muna.
sigurado ako, magbibigay ng porsyento to, Oheb. From 1 to 100, ilang percent ba ang tsansa ng TLPH na makapag-finals?
Kami kasi di namin iniisip yun eh. Parang one step at a time lang.
Hindi ikaw yan.
Oo nga,
Hindi
Hepe.
ikaw yan,
At ito
Oheb.
na lang, baka may iisipin
sige.
siya para
Oil is the
bukas.
future, I
Okay.
agree.
Kasi
In balance,
bukas,
I agree.
makakatapat niyo ang
Lucas
Aurora.
din.
Oo nga.
Pwede, no?
Kung matatandaan natin nung first round, ano yung sabi ni Oheb? Naalala ko yun.
Oo, naaalala
Confident
natin.
daw sila dati, 100% mental nila kami. Tignan na lang natin.
Ayan.
Sabi mo. Yun sabi mo. Anong masasabi mo ngayon? Kela Demon Kite at saka kay Doming Kite na nanonood ngayon.
Good luck. Galing natin
Oo.
bukas.
Eh, di
Galing
naman.
natin bukas.
Oo, may sinasabi kasi si Coach eh. Humble yan. Parang ibang Oheb ang napapanood natin ngayon ah.
Actually,
Oo.
oo nga.
Pero tanong ko kay Oheb, paano kayo makakasigurado na makakabawi ang Baby Cakes duo sa Kite Brothers bukas?
Oo nga. Ano bang iba sa meta ngayon na sa tingin nyo sobrang nag-benefit yung entirety ng TLPH?
Tingin ko sa, sa patch, parang nakapag-adjust na rin kami agad. Tulong nga nung Sibol Combine kasi lahat pati yung mga ibang parang mga ginagamit ng ibang teams nakita namin dun eh. Kaya yung mga di pa nila nalalabas ganun. Nakita rin namin yung mga iba't ibang hero na pwedeng gamitin ngayong patch sa Combine.
Pero ito nga, hindi nyo nakasama yung Aurora doon. So, hindi nyo pa alam kung ano yung posible nilang ipapamalas. Sa tingin mo ba, with the condition or status na meron ngayon ng TLPH, masisindak ba kayo ng Aurora or are you fully prepared for it?
Di yata kami masisintak nun.
Ay, hindi talaga.
Yun si Oy.
Oo.
Yun ang na-miss ko eh.
Alam mo kung saan siya nasisindak?
Saan?
Parang kay Coach RC kasi naririnig ko bumubulong si Coach. Sabi niya, Tol, makuha ka sa tingin.
Oo nga, Coach. Ikaw matanong ka nga namin,
Ikaw na
Coach.
lang, Coach. Ikaw na lang.
Coach, ano bang favorite experience mo or favorite skin mo sa lahat ng mga Naruto skins na lumabas lately?
Ayun kaya kay Naruto talaga.
Kay Naruto talaga?
Subukan niyo na ba yun, Coach?
Feeling ko sample eh.
Sample?
Pero hindi, Coach. I think I can also ask you the same thing kasi you had a chance
Oo,
to go with
I
these
agree
boys
din,
and
random.
actually compete
Tsaka,
with the best of the best
kung
sa Pilipinas.
ano, di ba,
How was it
kung-
on the coach's perspective naman, being part
As
of that
a
combine?
watcher, parang ang saya
Yun,
makakita
marami
ng
din
ganyan
talaga
na
kami
team
natutunan,
na
especially
ganyan
ako kasi
ka-aggressive.
Kagaya ng sinabi ko noon, hindi ko talaga tinitignan yung sarili ko na mas angat sa kanila. Tinitignan ko yung sarili ko as newbie. So, bawat coaches na nakikita ko or nakakalabang ko, tinitig yun as lesson, win or learn lang talaga.
And this was a
Tagal pa, last
lesson
week,
na
third week
naipakita
ni?
nila para makuha
Fourth
ang
week.
panalong ito.
Fourth week
Once
pa nga
again,
to.
your winners,
Ito matagal.
Team Liquid Philippines! Gentlemen, you may now take your walk of victory. And with that win, you may now take your bow. Malinis ang kuha nila ngayon, Week 8. It seems like they're more playoff ready than we thought they were.
Mukhang malinis din talaga ang mindset ng TLPH ngayon at nakikita natin ang connection from the players hanggang kay Coach dahil parehong-pareho silang mag-isip ngayon. And Hans, excited ako kung ano pa nga ba ipapakita ng TLPH moving forward.
Pilit nilang inaabot ang upper bracket spot na makakaharap nila ay posibleng doon din mapunta. Malalaman natin yan bukas, pero sa ngayon ay babalik muna natin sa ating mga casters.
That is one thing we forgot to mention. Team Liquid Philippines are fresh off of the national team selection combine wherein they were in a think tank.
Kaya na, bago tayo mag-close stream, tingnan muna natin dito ang para sa akin ay winning moment, which is the second third. Which also, hindi, second third to eh. I think this was the mistake from TNC. Okay, we'll see.
Here in the early.
Really bait.
Some pressure. Sound force dropped in by Oheb.
But Oheb didn't.
They combo.
Yep,
Ito,
and
maganda
JP
na
still
to.
has tact for both sides. Whoever wants to go for the engage first.
So, magkaroon ng engagement top.
And now he gets to
So,
actually take away
imagine.
the dragon, but Betty Cutie
Ay,
won't be able to provide the double
So, implosion, tsaka ulti ni Carl
because JP
ang mga
as
gamit.
well going in for
Wala
his
rin
setup
silang
from the
Parcel,
members
wala
behind.
silang Grovis
Yawi
Pato,
falls
wala
down,
rin
Ziding
spells
gets
to
a trade
TNC.
onto Carl TZ
Pero
at
napatay si
that.
Carl.
And
So,
TNC might be very happy with what they were
lamang
able
lang
to
sila
take.
ng level.
Oh, but Team
Meron
Liquid
pa silang
Philippines
retry.
countered that. They got two.
Wala
It's a
silang
2 for
ulti.
1 with Team Liquid Philippines.
Pero
One
meron
out on
sila,
top.
so pwede siyang,
Carl TZ got taken down, but he'll be able to get back.
pwede silang mapapar sa ult.
Wow, what an
Ito naman
entry by
yata yung
Carl TZ
gagawin
to
nila
find
doon.
Betty Cutie as Yawi went in for Oheb.
They're not done.
Hindi nila kinimitay si
Sanford gets
Ford,
a
which is
good
good
amount of
also. So,
firepower
technically ito winning position na
laid
talaga
out
for
on him.
TNC.
Luckily,
Tapos
he
nagbalik
is
pa si
quite
Yawi,
chunky.
may ulti
Already
rin
has
siya.
the radiant armor.
JP no ult.
Here
Imagine
comes the cavalry clapping back.
So,
JP looking for range. Carl TZ taking care of his purple first turtle at half health.
so at this point,
Round 2.
Carl meron ng blue. Tapos nag-ulti si Trimar.
Because Carl TZ
Ang problema dito,
is yet
kahit si Benny man lang sana,
to come.
kahit sino, promise, na pwedeng mag-damage dito sa third.
Could this be round 2?
Kahit sino lang.
Because Carl TZ is yet to
Kasi
come to
sa
the
kanila yung
scene.
advantage eh. Lamang sila ng retry, ganyan. Tapos, ano ba mangyayari?
Sanford already goes in
Well, no, niretry lang sila sa
round 2
akum.
because Carl TZ is yet to come to the scene. But Sanford
Alam mo si Saida, nasa gitna naman. Kamali lang siya ng retry, oh. Namulti rin si Sanji. Ayun lang talaga eh.
in with
Okay, so all I can say is lamang na sana sila, tapos pinili nila yung 50-50. Doon sila naulit.
Luckily, he is quite chunky. Already has the radiant armor. Here comes the cavalry. Clap was a
It's also, I agree, dapat hindi ka na nag-experiment at this point, talaga magde-decide ka na. Tingin ko ang TNC, they're at this point where ang siguro mindset nila is palaruin na lang muna natin lahat. Kahit natin talaga ito na ititla. Sure naman na tayo sa playoffs. In fact, yung 2 weeks ng TNC, week 7, week 8 nila, hindi na magmamatter. Kung manalo sila or matalo, same placing yung makukuha nila. They're gonna be fifth place, which 5th seed. So dalawa lang pagpipilian nilang makalaban, either TL or Onyx PH. Parang ganon. So parang siguro, kung ina-analyze ko na yung situation, doesn't matter na para sa TNC yung yung mga series. So might as well palaruin na natin yung mga lahat ng players. I believe kung tingin ko ngayon pa lang or siguro nga last week pa lang, alam na talaga ng TNC kung sino yung lalaban nila sa playoffs. And I'm sure na yun na yung papalaruin nila all throughout. So, I have a feeling ito, parang nilalaro na nila yung mga laro. But, I would assume na yung best na players nila yung papakita nila sa playoffs. Tingin ko. So yun, ang bilis na ng laro. In-expect ko nga 3 games to kasi maganda naman pinapakita ng TNC last week. But this is where we end the stream. Tignan ko lang kung tignan ko kayo sa kung kaya pang makapag-stream mamaya ng second series. But for now, pahinga muna tayo. Sana nag-enjoy kayo. Tama kayo. Mali ako. Do what works for you. Not your doctor. Bye-bye.